Hey everybody, it's Travis from Tactical Solutions, and in this video I'm going to be talking about pressure point fighting, but most importantly, no-touch knockouts.
Bullshit.
I know there's a huge debate out in the world, and it comes back up every few years where people say, no-touch knockouts are real, then other people's like, no-touch knockouts aren't real, and they fight all the time. Well, I'm going to prove to you non-believers that no-touch knockouts are real.
Bullshit.
All I ask is you listen to this video, watch this video with an open mind, and wait till the very end to leave your hateful comments below. But first we have to talk about pressure points. Why do we have to talk about pressure points? Because the main reason a lot of people claim that pressure points aren't real and they don't exist, they base that on the fact of the no-touch knockouts. Ryukyu Kempo and George Dillman, Kyusho Jitsu, things like those styles are based on the back of pressure point fighting. And then once you get into the higher levels, they teach these no-touch knockouts, and that's where the flat comes. So a lot of people will totally not believe in the pressure points simply because of the no-touch knockouts. But every single martial arts I've ever practiced and studied, they talk about the pressure points. They talk about pressure point hitting, vital point striking, atemi to sensitive areas of the body, karate, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, aikido, every art, Krav Maga, military combatives, they all talk about vital points of the body, weak points of the body, pressure points of the body. I hear people all the time say, well, if pressure points work, how come they don't use them in UFC? Well, I say, look at any knockout, and I can tell you exactly what pressure point. Right there, Tank Abbott smokes him in gallbladder 20. Gallbladder 20 is located on the back of the neck. And what it does, it tells the brain that there's a concussion sensation. And that's where you get these knockouts. Right here, he hits him right in the pressure point behind the jawline called triple warmer 17. When what it does is it tells the neck, or tells the brain the neck is broken, and it puts you in a sleep. But see that whipping factor. The next one we look at here, oh, he took a night-night. Bam, right on stomach 5. One of Chuck Liddell's favorite pressure points to hit. There he is right there. In his book, he talks about how he studied Ryukyu Kempo. He talks about how he would fish for those pressure points of the face. So one of the biggest knockout champions in the history of UFC talks about how he focuses on pressure points. And here, I can't tell exactly where he hit because I wasn't paying attention, but guaranteed another pressure point. Right here, it looks like maybe stomach 5 again, maybe triple warmer 17. Let's see, where was this punch thrown to? Come on, Anderson. Let's go back to the replay. Bam. Once again, looks like a triple warmer 17. I can't really tell because on my screen it's really tiny, so I'm just looking. So all these are actually proof that pressure points are being used in boxing and UFC every day. It's just they call them the boxer's button, or, you know, they call them different things. But the truth is, these are all pressure points that are being actively sought out, taught, and looked for in their fighting. So for people to say that pressure points aren't real, well, there's proof right there that pressure points do work. But the reason they say it doesn't work is because of the standing knockouts that you commonly see in these martial arts videos. These martial arts videos are typically just standing still and they doing these light touches. Well, it's for demonstration purposes. If you're going balls to the wall and you smoke somebody in the face in a seminar training camp, teaching them where these points are, then you're probably not going to have a lot of students. So it's a practical teaching approach to it. So now if we admit that pressure points are real, they are effective, then that just leaves the no-touch knockouts. Now the main reason people say no-touch knockouts are fake is because of the bad publicity a certain somebody has been getting a lot of flack over. Now let's take a look a little bit deeper, and I'm going to pull it up here real quick, and I apologize for all this weirdness. Here soon, I will be getting better equipment so I can transition these a little bit better. But the main part of this happening is this guy right here. His name's George Dillman. He's kind of the face of the Pressure Point Knockouts. He's the there he is right here. Everybody, you know, he's a charlatan, he's a fake, he's a fraudulent. All these people are fakers. It's not real. Well, in the 60s and 70s, he was one of the best and highest scoring karate people in the world. He had so many medals, trophies, and when it came to the seminars, he was really good at self-defense, women's self-defense. Military people were seeking him out. Police were seeking him out. So how did he go to this dramatic downfall? Well, that's because of this new thing he discovered, which is the no-touch knockouts. Now, I'm not really sure how it developed, but apparently he went overseas, learned it through secret seminars and secret masters, and he brought it back to the States and commercialized it. Now, let's take a look on how no-touch knockouts are taught. Whenever I got started, I seen these videos and I said, well, I want to feel it. I want to believe in it. And of course, I had to start with pressure points. Well, obviously pressure points are real. I decided to figure it out. And so I went in, started getting knocked out with real pressure points and everything, and I started going to these seminars that taught no-touch knockouts. Now here is the premise of almost every single no-touch knockout seminar that I've ever been to. They start off, you know, you go and you know this grandmaster or master level martial artist is going to be there, that has that energy and that expectation. This person has been in the martial arts for 20, 30, 40 years, some even more. So you know that they've been doing this for a long time, that they have a huge following, and they are very prestigious. They just have that aura about them. Then you go in, and the first thing they do is they start talking about what the Qi is. They say the Chinese didn't know it because they didn't have the science. And what all it is the biomagnetics of our body, that we are walking breaker boxes. And everybody knows this. Everybody knows that our body, our neurological system is ran off of electricity. Our brain's like a breaker box that sends all these electrical signals throughout the nervous system, and that's what causes our muscles to tense and things to happen. So every one of these seminars, they talk about how all no-touch knockout is learning how to control your biomagnetic electrical fields and learning how to attack people in their biomagnetic fields. And that pseudoscience kind of makes sense, especially the way they relay it. Like, they talk and they're just smooth with it because they've been saying the same thing for years, and it makes sense. And then what they normally do at that point, they say, have you ever hit your elbow and then you feel this tingle through your body? That is the energy traveling through your nervous system, and that's why it feels like you're being electrocuted throughout your muscles. Makes sense. And then they start talking about different things. They say, clap your hands, spin your hands in these balls. Do you feel that heat? Do you feel that thickness? And people do it. They go, well, yeah, I do. And it starts making sense. And the next you know what they say, give me a couple volunteers, and people stand up and they go, okay, now stick your hand between my hands. Do you feel that? And they go, yeah, no, oh yeah, and all this other stuff. And they'll say, now look at my hand. Do you feel that pressure moving? And they go, yeah. Do you feel this energy? And they go, yeah. And they go, okay. And they just tell everybody to sit down. And then they bring this person up and they look to the crowd and they'll say, now what I'm going to do, he's going to ground himself. He's going to stand there. He's going to relax. So that way I can channel my energy into his energy. And normally I'm going to place the tip of this tongue to the roof of my mouth that makes a certain sound, which they give all this pseudoscience. They say, and if you watch him, he'll fall back. So I need somebody to stand behind him. Somebody stand behind him to catch him. And then they go up and they go, okay, you ready? Shoot! And they pass out. And it's amazing. It's so cool to watch. And you say, I want to feel that. And you stand up. And it just goes on and on and on. Well, then, it gets a little bit, more and more crazy at that point. Well, the first time I ever did it, I started watching. I was like, okay, I decided to try it, and I woke up on my back. Now, I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic by nature, but it convinced me this is real. The pseudoscience they were talking about didn't make sense to me, but something had to be going on because I was standing there, I saw their hand come out, and I woke up on my back. So my question at that point was, how did this happen? What created this? So I started doing a lot of research, and then one day it hit me. I figured it out. I've seen this before. I just couldn't remember where I've seen it before. And the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. And, excuse me, I'm going to pull this up and show you. When I was in high school, I seen this. And it was stage hypnotism. That's right. It was actual... it was a stage hypnotist that came to our school and was making people do some really crazy and funny things. So then I started thinking, how did this happen? So I started going through my memory bank, and I started looking up a bunch of stage hypnosis videos online. I even bought Michael C. Anthony's at-home training videos and manuals, and that's when it started making even more sense to me. Whenever I couldn't figure it out, I read this manual, and it breaks it down into steps. Now, these steps, and this is stage hypnosis, they say that you need to build rapport. You need to convince people that you are the best of the best and give them something to look forward to. That's where you hear these introductions. Welcome, the fastest hypnotist in Missouri, Travis Williams, or Master Hypnosis, or Hypnotist Travis Williams. And then I come out and the crowd goes crazy. They've already built up this expectation because they've been reading the Facebook posts. They've been watching the Facebook videos. They've built this expectation of my skill. And then what they say in these training manuals, you need to explain what hypnotism is. Because if they're very apprehensive towards it, they're not going to be open to it. And you need them open, you need them to be suggestible. So then they say, when you come out, you need to explain what hypnotism is, how it's just communicating to the subconscious mind, and you're getting your subconscious mind to come out. And they debunk a lot of myths. They say it's not voodoo. All it is psychology, it's mentalism, it's this, it's that. And they say, have you ever been driving down the road and then all of a sudden blink and you're at your destination, but you have no memory of driving the last 30 minutes? Well, that's road hypnosis. That's driving hypnosis. Your subconscious mind clicks in and takes over. They may even talk about how children learn through subconscious learning. They'll take it a step further even to open that mindset and say, everybody can be hypnotized, but not everybody can be hypnotized every time. You have to be open. You have to be open-minded. That's why intelligent people are more likely to be hypnotized, because they're open-minded. Closed-minded people are proven to have less intelligence. So now the crowd's going, man, if he doesn't hypnotize me, that must mean I'm stupid. Now they want to be hypnotized because they don't want to be seen as, not that intelligent. Well, then after they explain what hypnotism is, they debunk it and people become confident with it and make sense. Then they start doing what they call convincers. They'll say, now I want everybody in the crowd to listen to my voice. I want you to put your hands together, interlace your fingers. Now I want you to put your 2 index fingers straight out and stare in between them and listen to my voice. The harder you stare, that you notice, the more and more your fingers come together. The more you fight it, the harder it is to keep them separated. Listen to my voice, and they get closer and closer, and then all of a sudden your fingers touch. And you go, holy shit, this is actually working. I'm actually being hypnotized. But what they don't tell you is this is just by clenching your fingers together, your tendons want to be constricted. By straightening your fingers up, they will naturally touch anyway. Has nothing to do with hypnosis. But you're convincing them that it does. The same way martial arts teachers will say pressure point tapping is energy. Has nothing to do with no-touch knockouts. Has nothing to do with energy transfer, really. But it's a convincer. So now they're convinced that they're being hypnotized. And then you'll take it a step further and do your first suggestibility test to the entire crowd. You'll tell everybody to put their feet flat on the floor. Close their eyes. Put your hands out. With one hand, flip it over. In your mind, imagine a dictionary, a big, thick dictionary. And on the other one, imagine there's a string tied to a helium balloon that's tied to your wrist. Now that balloon gets higher and higher, and that book gets heavier and heavier. And they talk more and more. Next thing you know, your arm's like this. When you open your eyes, you're amazed. And he says, that's being hypnotized. And he says, I want volunteers on the stage now. Then everybody comes running up. And then he starts doing more suggestibility tests. He's wanting to see which ones are the best for suggestions. And what happens if they're not fully listening and going with, go have a seat. So they keep only the good, suggestible people on stage. And after they have it narrowed down, they'll say, all right, now I want you to stare at my hands. You're going to put your feet flat on the floor. You're going to listen to my voice. You're going to feel your legs relax, your arms relax, your head relax. Stare in my palm. Your eyes are getting sleepy, and sleep. And then everybody goes to sleep. That's called an induction. And then now you can go through and have people cluck like chickens, dance like dogs, whatever. It's the same thing as no-touch knockout seminars. Build rapport by being a master or grandmaster martial artist. The same way you build your rapport as being a master hypnotist or the fastest hypnotist or the best hypnotist, so on and so forth. You build this title, this expectation. And then you build confidence by explaining it. You talk about the science of the energy and the electricity, and you debunk a lot of myths the same way the hypnotist will talk about road hypnosis and driving hypnosis, and suggestibility is all subconscious. The martial arts instructor will then use convincers. He'll tap you on the pressure point to make you feel it, and then he'll convince you that has to do with electricity transferring from my body to yours, and how we can make distance. The same way the hypnotist will use convincers that have nothing to do with hypnotism. Then the martial arts instructor will then say, now, do you feel this energy between my hands or between your hands or this and that? And the people go, yeah. And they go, okay. And they make mental note. This person's feeling it, that person's feeling it, that person's feeling it, that person's feeling it. And they'll ignore the people who don't feel it. And then the hypnotist will say, all right, you guys go back to the chairs. I'm going to keep these people. And then they say, okay, you're going to feel relaxed in your feet. You're going to feel relaxed in your body. Look at my hands. The same way the martial arts instructor will say, stand flat-footed. Because all of this is programming them to listen to you and do what you say. Stand flat-footed. I'm actually giving you a command. I'm saying, put your arms to your side. I'm giving you a command. And your subconscious mind is listening. It's obeying. The same way the hypnotist is saying, put your feet down, put your hands in your laps, listen to me, look at me, focus on me. The martial arts will say, now, what I'm going to do is this, and this is what's going to happen. And now, the hypnotist will say, this is what's going to happen. And you build that expectation. The hypnotist will say, sleep. The martial artist will go, sup, or hung, or just do whatever, and now that expectation becomes suggestion. That suggestion becomes a hypnotic trance that makes you go to sleep. So, is no-touch knockout real? Yes! But is it a martial arts? No. It is nothing more than stage hypnotism in a martial arts setting. Now, the question is, are all these people willfully knowing that this is stage hypnotism? My belief is no, they believe it's real. Anybody that does martial arts, that become an instructor, all you're doing is retaining knowledge of what you've learned and replicating it and duplicating it from what you learned from somebody else. Now imagine you're a young martial artist and you go to a grandmaster and you go to the seminar. It works, you feel it, you believe it. But then you start learning more about it and you just copy the verbatim, the way it's given, the way it's instructed. If this person's really successful, you're going to mimic and copy how they do it. And now that martial arts student is now a martial arts instructor, and now they're doing seminars. They don't know it's stage hypnotism. To them, it is real. To their students, it is real. And then their students can become masters, so on and so forth. So I believe we're generations now deep in people believing that this is real martial arts. The problem is, a lot of you who do believe in no-touch knockouts as a martial arts, you're going to look at this video and you're going to be driven right down the middle. Are you A, going to admit that it is nothing more than stage hypnosis and admit that you've been wrong and continue teaching it under false pretense? Or are you then going to admit that you're wrong and move forward? Well, what I found out is a lot of people are afraid to admit they're wrong because they've been teaching this. This is how they make a lot of money doing seminars. If they're afraid that if they come out to the open and say, this is not real, I do not believe in it anymore, I believe it is stage hypnosis, then they feel like it's going to devaluate them, make people not believe in them anymore. They believe that their students might actually not trust them anymore. I found the opposite. Whenever I started telling my students this, they respected me even more because I was honest and I am making sure I'm giving them the proper information. So what I want you to do is decide, are you going to continue teaching a fake martial arts but real stage hypnosis, or are you going to just move on and focus on what is real martial art? And for you non-believers, are you going to admit now that no-touch knockouts are real on the premise of stage hypnosis and that it's not a martial art? Or are you still going to believe that stage hypnosis is fake? So hopefully in this video you've learned that pressure points are used every day in MMA. That pressure points are nothing more than convincers for no-touch knockouts. And how no-touch knockouts are real because it is nothing more than stage hypnosis presented in a new and different venue. So leave your comments below. If they're hateful, I'm probably not even going to respond to them, but hopefully this will make a little bit more sense to you. In the future, I'm going to be calling a special somebody who has been in the ghost hunting world, who is also a master martial artist in pressure point fighting and stuff, and we're going to talk to him in a podcast, in a webcast, on what he believes is going on and how he's proven it and disproven it. So look forward for that video, and I promise you guys these videos are going to be a lot better once I get better equipment, better cameras, better lights, better microphones. So just bear with me. But like, share, subscribe, and we'll get next to the video here soon. So talk to you guys later.